Hello and welcome back to my channel and to today's video where, as per your requests, I will be trying on and giving my opinion on all of the denim styles from the M&S collection at Marks & Spencer. Now, in my opinion, Marks & Sparks have some of the best denim on the high street based on a few different factors. Price point, for one, their most expensive pair of jeans in the M&S collection being £45. They've got some pretty cool technologies in there as well, some shaping styles which are definitely going to feature in today's video. Then you've got 3 different leg lengths, a wide range of sizes, and as someone that buys, owns, washes, wears M&S denim, I can also attest to the quality. Granted, not of every single pair, but of the pairs that I own, which of course I will let you guys know throughout the video. Okay, so within this first category of straight jeans, I have got 3 pairs of what M&S like to call the Sienna Straight Leg jeans. Each of these pairs is slightly different. They've all got a different price point. They have all got slightly different features about them. But the pair that I'm going to start off with is just the basic Sienna Straight Leg, and these come in at £25. They come in 8 different colours, although there are 2 greys there, one of which is sold out online. So I have a feeling that one is being discontinued and the new grey colour is going to take over from that. Now, with them being at this £25 price point, I must admit the fabric feels quite thin in comparison to some of the other styles, which of course prior to this video I've already tried on, but as you will see throughout the video. So I'm not entirely sure if they would be a very beneficial jean for the colder months, you know, sort of December, January, February. I feel like otherwise very appropriate jean for spring and autumn. I just don't think that they've got that sort of warmth factor, enough sort of substantial thickness to the fabric. So in terms of cut and fit, they're high-waisted. They do actually feel really comfortable, and that's because of that 2% elastin in there, which gives a really good amount of stretch. But as I mentioned, not sure how practical they would be for the winter days due to that thinness of the fabric. They do have what I would say a slightly slimmer shape of a straight leg than a pair of Levi's, for example. But I really like that. I find them very, very flattering. And if you have long legs, they are going to elongate them even more. If you have slightly shorter legs, then these might be a really good option for you if you're not looking for something as tight as a skinny. Right, moving on to the next pair of Siennas, and these are the Supersofts. And there are quite a few pairs of jeans within today's video where there are several different sort of technologies or different fabrics. So there are a few other super softs within this video. So with the super soft fabric, and you can definitely feel that softness in the fabric, the price increases slightly from that standard price point of £25 to £32.50. Slightly less colours available in the Sienna Super Soft. They come in 5. But if I'm being honest, I really like this particular colour that I'm trying on. I think it's a really good all-rounder for all seasons. They're high-waisted and they have a really good fit on the waist with no visible gaps. Obviously, I'm just trying them on, so with wear, obviously that could change, you know, as you're sitting down, standing up, walking around, etc. So these are more just my first impressions of this particular pair of jeans. The 10 long for me was a perfect length for these. They could be rolled up for slightly warmer days, perhaps in spring, so that you could wear them a little bit more cropped with trainers or with loafers. And one thing I will say about these jeans in particular, because of the softness of that fabric, is that they are very comfortable on the skin, even on freshly shaved legs. And now onto my third and final pair of Sienna Straight Fit, and these are the Sienna Magic. And again, like the Super Soft, there's a few more of the magic style within some of the various different fits and cuts. And these are the highest price point at £45. Now, they've got some special I don't know if I can call it technology, but that's what they call it. And basically they're designed to sculpt. So they're designed to suck the tummy in and to lift and provide a bit more shape around the bum region. Now, in terms of cut, they are very high-waisted, and this sort of sculpting magic technology is supposed to avoid any gaps around the waistband. However, as you will see in the cutaways, I have a gap at the back of the waistband, which is not so ideal. So these feel much tighter on the thighs, and then they go looser to that very slim sort of straight cut at the bottom, which I spoke about with regards to the first pair of Siennas. So the shape is the same, they just feel a lot tighter, and I think that's because of that higher elastin content. These ones do look a little bit more premium because they've got this patch label detail on the back. And I do really like the fit of these, but one thing that puts me off, and I'm not entirely sure if it's just this black colour, but I do not like rose gold, and this big rose gold button really puts me off. Right, that's all 3 pairs of the Siennas done. I'm going to move on to my next style, which is the Harpers. And I've still kept these within the straight leg category, even though they are a cigarette fit, which, as the name would suggest, is slightly slimmer. And I'm going to start off with the Harper Smart jeans. So these are priced at £39.50. This denim definitely does feel different. I don't know if there's something about it that feels a little bit more scratchy, and not to the point of discomfort, but you can just definitely feel that difference. You can also see a difference in this particular denim when it's classed as smart denim, because it has a slight sort of fleck to it. Not quite a texture, but definitely a fleck. Now the turn up on these is also stitched into place, so it's not something that you could roll down like some of the other pairs I have coming up. They do have a central crease in the middle of each leg, which I suppose makes them a little bit smarter. I'd imagine you could probably iron that out if you didn't like it. It may even come out in the wash. And if I'm being honest, I really don't like the length of these. They are too cropped for my liking, even though I have gone for them in the 10 long. And I think that's just the sort of style. They feel, I don't know, a bit like a capri pant or a clam digger. It's just, yeah, they're not my cup of tea. Right, now my second pair of Harpers are Supersofts. So these are priced at £32.50, which is sort of the standard price for the Supersoft. And in terms of style, if we're comparing them to the Siennas, these ones are just slightly more cropped, so they're more of an ankle grazer, and I definitely prefer the length of these in comparison to the smart ones that I just featured. Again though, a really nice fit. They feel very comfortable, just like the Siennas did in this super soft denim. Obviously, if you're not a big fan of a higher polyester content, then these may not be the jeans for you, but fret not. I have some really good cotton majority jeans coming up, which are my personal favourites. And again, they do have a really nice fit around the waist with no visible gaps. There's a subtle patch label detail on the back of them, and if you're someone that maybe doesn't want to scream about the fact that you're wearing M&S, and there's nothing wrong with that, then these have some very subtle branding on that label. So unlike a pair of Levi's where you see Levi's all over the label, these have just got a date on them. Unless you know that that date is specific to M&S, these jeans are not going to be screaming Marks & Spencer. Right, that is the straight leg category all done. We are now going to move on to the skinny leg category. And I've just thought one thing looking at my rail here, I've got 3 pairs of skinny jeans. Now in a lot of the categories there are considerably more, and I feel like at one point skinny jeans were like the leading shape of jeans. So it just goes to show kind of how times have changed, and you guys, some of you may well be skinny jeans fans still, but I think skinny jeans are no longer at the top of like the denim kingdom, if you like. I think straights and other different fits are definitely coming more into it. So let's get started with my first pair of skinnies. These are just the standard Ivy Skinny, and these come in at £25. They're high-waisted and they are a very tight fit. Now this is coming from a person that doesn't wear skinnies very often, so for me I found this a little bit of a shock to the system. And admittedly, skinnies are my least favourite fit of denim, primarily because of that tightness behind the knees. I don't mind tightness anywhere else, but if I find that I'm sitting and my legs are bent, or driving, or even just walking, and I have that awkward feeling behind my knees, I just don't like it. So these would be my least favourite. Now, whilst I'm not a skinny fan, I did find them very flattering. I liked how my body sort of looked in them. I just wouldn't necessarily say that they have, you know, that comfort factor in there. Now, the Ivy style is also available in a maternity over the bump style, which are £35. Those are only available online, and it's worth mentioning that they are the only style of maternity jeans from M&S, and they come in 2 different colours. Now, as with the Siennas, the Ivies also come in a super soft. So as with the other Supersoft styles, these are also priced at £32.50. And the fabric is the same as the other Supersoft styles, so 71% cotton, that higher polyester content at 27%, and then the 2% elastin. They come in 5 different colours. They're high-waisted. Now, I personally found them a little bit too big around the waist, so there were some gaps there. They've got that patch badge on the back, which makes them feel a little bit more premium. And the fabric, to be honest with you, doesn't feel so much of a denim. It feels almost more like a twill fabric because of that super soft element. Now, these ones didn't actually feel as tight as some of the other skinny styles that I've tried on, and I have one more coming up. So I didn't quite have that same tightness behind the knees. So in terms of comfort factor, I would actually rate these super softs as number 1 out of all of the skinnies. And in terms of length, the 10 long was perfect for me. Right, now I'm going to move on to my final pair of skinnies, and of course it is the shaping. So these are also Ivies. These are the Magics, so they are priced at that Magic shaping price of £45. And I have to tell you, these are very, very tight fitting. These actually took a lot of energy, a lot of jumping and wiggling about to get them on. So if you're someone that maybe is a little bit limited in mobility, these are not going to be, or if you have a weak bladder, these are not going to be the jeans for you. They really do take a lot of effort to put them on. Now, they're high-waisted, they have a good fit around the waistband. These ones in particular, unlike the Siennas, don't have any gaps, but of course that is going to be body dependent. They're not going to fit the same for everyone. Lengthwise, they are perfect in the 10 long. And again, because I don't have much of a bum, I just don't know if this sculpting technology works for me. Maybe you guys can let me know, because you can all see in the cutaways, you can see the differences between style and style. Does my bum have any sculpting? Is it more lifted? I don't know. I don't know if that's just a bit of a marketing ploy, but either way, they are definitely tighter, far more stretchy, tighter behind the knees, but very flattering. Right, my next category, a little bit lonely, it's just one style of jeans, and that is the mum jeans or the mom jeans. And these two are both exactly the same style, and these are actually ones that I have had in my wardrobe. So they've been worn, they've been washed for at least a year, year and a half. I think I bought them last year, maybe towards the beginning of last year. So I can comment on these with regards to longer term wear rather than just initial try on. So mum jeans have always been an acquired taste, I think, because they do have a very specific kind of fit. These ones are £39.50, and they have my favourite kind of denim, which is 99% cotton and just 1% elastin. Now, I used to be a big fan of 100% cotton jeans, but I have had issues over the last few years as I'm getting a little bit older with bloating, and so that just tiny 1% elastin adds to the comfort factor, and I just find them so much more comfortable than 100% cotton jeans. But with that high cotton content, it does make them feel much more like a proper pair of jeans. I've always called it proper denim, so they feel more like a pair of Levi's. So they have a little bit of give, but they don't stretch out with wear. So whilst they do shrink slightly in the wash, as with most pairs of jeans, given that they're a high cotton content, they don't stretch out so much that they feel baggy. If you need a little bit of give, you've got that there because you've got the elastin, but they're not ever going to end up not fitting well. And from my experience, I find them very comfortable, again, as I've already touched on, and I think the fit is great. Okay, moving on to my next category, which is boyfriend jeans. These are all the same style, so there's only one style of boyfriend jeans at M&S, and these are the 5 colours they come in. They are all the colours which I own and have worn and have in my wardrobe. So again, like the mum jeans, it's another pair of jeans, a sort of style at M&S that I can comment on with regards to longer term wear and washability. Now, these are my personal favourite pair of jeans. I am all about comfort. It's something I harp on about all the time. They've got that 99% cotton and that 1% elastin, although the black colourway have 98% cotton and 2% elastin, and you can definitely feel a difference in the fabric. But comfort-wise, these are my absolute favourite pair of jeans. Now, these wash very well, they wear very well. I would highly recommend these jeans. Granted, they are a slightly more casual style because they are looser. They've got a slight ankle grazer length, even if you're wearing them rolled down, of course, depending on your leg length and the leg length that you buy. But I think the designed fit of them is a looser fit with a slight ankle grazer length. And they are just the perfect casual jeans. They're great for sort of weekends, school run if that's something that you do. I just absolutely love them and couldn't recommend these enough. And I know sound like a bit of a broken record because these are featured in a lot of my recent videos in the newer colours that I've bought, but I love them. Right, on to the next category now, which is wide leg. And we've got quite a few different wide leg styles in this category. I'm going to start off with these first. These are the Lyocell Blend wide leg Palazzo trousers. And when I say wide leg, these are extreme. I mean, you'll know if you know the word palazzo. It's very, very wide fitting. And these are probably one of the newest styles. These are new for this season and they come in at £45. And you can feel the softness. You can feel the slinkiness of the Lyocell in these jeans, and I think that is why they've used this fabric makeup for this particular style and shape, because with a wide leg palazzo fit, you need the fabric to move. You don't need it to be stiff. So you need to have that sort of floaty element to the fabric. Now these come in 3 different colours. Surprise, surprise, they're high-waisted because most jeans are high-waisted these days, but they have a very comfortable waist fit. And again, I think that is down to that Lyocell content within these jeans. Now I must admit, I was really dubious about trying these. I had a feeling I was going to absolutely hate them. I was pleasantly surprised. They're not something that I would personally buy for my wardrobe because I don't think I would get the most wear out of them. They are a little bit too wide for me personally, but having tried them on, I definitely think that I was just pleasantly surprised by how they felt, how they looked. They're just maybe a little bit too dressy for me. Next up, we've got the mid-rise Carpenter jean. So these are so reminiscent of the kind of jeans that I would have worn in the 90s when I was in like my All Saints Oasis kind of era. They are not something, they're too much of a throwback to my teenage years, so they're not something that I would personally add to my wardrobe now. They've got the sort of Carpenter pockets, these little like loopy details on the side, which are just a little bit too much for me. But I think if this is something that integrates well with your style, they are a really nice pair of jeans. Now this kind of denim, and this applies to the wide leg palazzos, is very, very light. So it does make them incredibly comfortable. Whilst it's not a style that I would wear, they are very comfortable. And if you're looking for a comfortable pair of jeans, maybe something a little bit different to a boyfriend pair, then these might be a good option for you. Again, the 10 long are a decent length for wearing with a pair of flats. For me personally, like a pair of trainers. I'm not sure this is the sort of pair of jeans that you would style up with heels, whether high or low, or even any other kind of footwear. But for wearing with trainers, they were the perfect length for me. One minor thing just to add, and that is that there is slightly conflicting fit information, because online these are described as relaxed high-rise, but on the actual physical label, they're described as mid-rise. I would describe them as mid-rise, and I think that's very appropriate for this sort of 90s skater style pair of jeans. The next style within the wide leg category is just the standard wide leg jeans, and I've got them to try on for you guys in 2 different colours, a lighter wash and also a black, and these come in at £35. Now they have a wide leg, but they're not as wide as the Palazzo style, so these are a lot more manageable. You don't find that you've got as much fabric flapping about towards like the shoe kind of area, and they go more into that wide leg from a reasonable point, whereas the Palazzo ones flared out immediately from the top of the leg and just got wider. In terms of comfort, these are a little bit snug on my thighs, and with that 1% elastin, it does make them a little bit more bearable, but I kind of wish they were just slightly looser. But I feel like if I sized up by 1 size, they would be too loose and the fit wouldn't be quite right around the waist. So if I were to buy these, which I haven't, but if I were to buy these for my wardrobe, I would stick with the size 10, and I would probably just hope that they loosened a little bit over time. And admittedly, I kind of wish they were more of a mid-waisted fit. Personally, that's just for me in terms of comfort and my bloating issues, but the high waist does look good with a t-shirt tucked in or a shirt. Has a very sort of 60s, 70s vibe to it, although of course they are a wide leg fit, but it is a very flattering waist. So the next style that I have is another new style for this season, and it is the high-rise wide leg cargo trouser. So as the name would suggest, in a similar kind of way to the Carpenter jeans, these do have the cargo pockets further down the leg, which admittedly is not my style. I think that's just a little bit too much fuss. But unlike the Carpenter jeans, they do come in 2 colours, a lighter wash and a darker wash denim. And I think the denim is, I don't know, it just looks different. It looks a little less 90s. So I think there would definitely be a way to style these. Perhaps with sort of a nice bomber jacket. You could even wear them with a shirt or a t-shirt. They could be casual, but I also feel because of the denim, they could be worn a little bit smarter as well. You could even wear them with a blazer. They're a high waist, but they're just above the hips and not super, super high like some of the other styles, the skinnies in particular. And they are a really nice fit on the waist and bum. So whilst they're not really my style, I cannot fault the fit. Now the denim on these, as I've said, is that more structured denim, my favourite kind of denim. So it does feel a lot thicker and a little bit stiffer, but they don't feel uncomfortable. It just feels like a really nice quality denim. Now my final pair within the wide leg category are the high-waisted wide leg smart. So if we kind of just go back, rewind to, I think it was the Harper smart, these have got that same slightly scratchy denim that I mentioned earlier. These come in 2 colours, both quite dark, and they've got that central crease down the front, which again makes them feel a little bit more like a tailored pair of trousers and less like a pair of jeans, which I think is why they describe them as more of a smart pair of jeans. And initially just looking at these, yeah, You know, they could be dressed in a smarter way. You could dress them up for more of an evening. If denim were something, darker denim that you could wear at work, then these would be a good smart option. Now, one thing I will mention about the length of these is that I personally find the 10 long comes up a little bit short for me. So in my opinion, they'd look okay with sort of low boots, either flat or with a mid heel, or even a pair of trainers if you were going to dress them down. But anything higher than maybe a 2-3 inch heel on me personally, I don't feel that they're long enough. As the name would suggest, these are high-waisted and a wide leg, but not too wide. And I think the fit is pretty good. There's no gaps around the waist. Now we are moving on to my penultimate category, which is the flare and boot cut category. And I'm going to start off with these crease front slim flares, and these are priced at £39.50. They're high-waisted and they are a very good fit on the waist. Very flattering fit overall, but I think flares always have been quite a flattering fit. They're tight fitting on the thighs, but not uncomfortable due to that 2% elastin content, so they've got that stretch in there. And these are a slim flare, so they're not as dramatic as a standard flare, but they're more prominent than a boot cut. And I've got some other flares coming up and a pair of boot cuts at the end of this category, so you can kind of see the difference in how much that bottom section kicks out. And one final note, and that is that the black looks quite smart. It's a very true black, so it's quite dramatic. And I think, again, if you were in some kind of work environment where you were allowed to wear darker denim, these are a really good option. They're very comfortable. Or if you wanted something with a bit more stretch but could be dressed up for more of an evening or occasion. My second flared style are these patch pocket high-waisted flares. These are another style which are new in for this season. And admittedly, when I saw these online and I saw them on some of the models, these were probably the pair of jeans that I was the most excited to try on. And unfortunately, these let me down. As I said, I was really excited to try these on, but the sizing for me was just a bit off. They were very tight, and I had to really squeeze myself into these. That said, there's a gap at the back of the waist. So these are always going to fit, you know, jeans are always going to fit different body types differently, but for me that is a little bit disappointing. They are so tight on the upper thighs, and granted that 1% elastin is very much doing its overtime, and they may give overtime obviously with wear, and of course they may shrink back after washing, but it just feels like it would be such a task, a chore. It would be like the magic jeans to get these back on after washing them. So these ones are a more prominent flare. I would say they are a very sort of 60s, 70s flare, and they're very high-waisted. So with those patch pockets, of course, they can sit nice and flat. They're a decent length, and again, very flattering, but that is possibly because I have squeezed myself into these. Right, now it's been a little while since we've had a pair of the Magic Shaping jeans, but here I have the Magic Shaping Slim Flares, which, as with the other Magics, are priced at £45. So these are 86% cotton, 11% polyester, and 3% elastane. So they've got a lot of stretch in them. They're very tight fitting on those thighs. And then again, unlike that very prominent flare, these ones have the slim flare. So it's somewhere in between a boot cut and a flare. In my opinion, they're not quite long enough for wearing with heels, but perfect for flats, trainers, and maybe boots with a low to sort of mid heel. But as I referenced before with regards to my personal preference with jean length when it comes to heels, they wouldn't cover a substantial high heel. Now, I find these jeans a very flattering cut for my figure. They are definitely something that I would look to buy, and whilst they are a little bit of a mission to get them on, not quite as much as the Magic Shaping Skinnies, I think these are a really good buy. And finally, we have one pair of boot cuts. These are the Eva Bootcuts. These are just sort of the standard denim, so they are priced at £25. So kind of in that price point like the Siennas, and I think we had a pair of £25 Lily skinnies as well. So they are that slightly thinner denim. Now the stretch in these, unlike the skinnies, is a lot more comfortable because there's no tightness behind the knees because they're not as tight, they're not a skinny fit. There is a central ironed crease down the front. However, I think you could iron that out if you didn't like it. It doesn't look like it's sort of been dyed in place or that the dye has seeped into the crease. It could possibly also come out in the wash, but as I haven't tried this, I wouldn't be able to guarantee it. Now, one really good thing about these jeans in particular, I think the waist fits me perfectly. There are no gaps. I just find them very comfortable due to that stretch, but they do have that thinner fabric. So as with the Siennas and the Lilies at the £25 price point, I'm not sure they would be a very practical pair of jeans for the winter months. Right, we have made it onto the final category, which I have just called Other, because I've got carrot leg and I've got slim, so it's just other. So I'm going to start off with the carrot leg jeans. These are the jeans that I referenced in the M&S try-on video, early autumn try-on video, which you guys can find in my fashion playlist from a few weeks back. These have been an incredibly popular style. They are a newer style. They only currently come in 2 colours, but if I had to do a bit of forecasting, I would say that because these have been so popular, they will restock the existing 2 colours, and I reckon that they're going to add more colours. Maybe something like a black and possibly like a dirty wash, but that's just my prediction. Now, as I mentioned in that early autumn M&S try-on video, I was unable to find these in the longer length. So I signed up for one of those stock alerts. I got the stock alert for the longer length and I bought them straight away. And I love these jeans. They are beautiful. So they are my preferred denim again, 99% cotton, 1% elastin. They feel more like a pair of Levi's, but they're not stiff or scratchy. There is some softness and there is a little bit of give in there as well, so they feel comfortable. Now these are a very flattering shape. And as with any video, I do a lot of research, I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, so I read through a lot of the reviews for all of these pairs of denim. And the reviews for this carrot leg really stood out because there's all different body types, women just commenting on how flattering they are. And normally that's not something I'm able to comment on because I only have my own body to go off. But just judging by those reviews, there are lots of women who find them very flattering for all different shapes and sizes. Now, as you can see, they are slightly cropped. So as it comes into winter, I'm not sure these would be the pair of jeans that I would reach for so often. But I have definitely been getting my wear out of these this autumn so far and will continue to do so until the temperature massively drops. Right, next in the other category is the high-waisted slim fit cropped, and these come in at £32.50. I'm going to just say it off the bat, but this style is too short for me. I do not like this pair of jeans at all. They are more like a pedal pusher or a capri pant length. They've got no turn up, so no option to make them a bit longer. Yeah, just not my cup of tea. Now, although they are too short for me, the fit is really nice. That denim feels stretchy, so there's comfort in there. They've got a high waist and a nice fit around the front, a very slight gap around the back, but not anything that I would probably complain about. And again, they could be a pair of jeans that could be smartened up. The black is a true black, so it could be worn, uniform rules permitting, in a more work environment or for an evening. My final 2 pairs of jeans are the Lilies. So these are the standard Lilies, which come in at £25. And I think I actually just made a bit of a boo-boo. I referenced lilies earlier on when I actually meant ivies when I was referring to skinnies. So lily is a slim cut. So technically I could have put these in straight leg. They are almost a skinny, but not quite. So if you find a skinny like me just unbearably uncomfortable, I think the Lily Slim might be a really good option for you if you like that slimmer fit. They're high-waisted and, as I mentioned, not quite skinny but very similar. They don't have that same discomfort and tightness around the back of the knees. These for me are a perfect length, but again, just like the Siennas, I feel like they could be rolled up at the bottom if you wanted that sort of slightly different look to them, if you wanted to wear them with loafers or trainers. Now, because of the 2% elastin, these have got plenty of stretch in them, so they do feel very comfortable. And I think that they're a really great sort of everyday pair of jeans. But they could also be a good option for dressing up. I think they'd look good with heels, and because it's not the kind of pair of jeans like with a flare or a boot cut that has to cover heels, the length doesn't matter so much. And now I'm going to end with my final pair of lilies, and these are another pair of the Magic shaping jeans. So these are the Lily Magics, and these are priced at £45. And as I just mentioned with regards to the £25 price point Lily Slim Fit, they don't have that tightness at the back of the knees. Even this Magic style, with them being tighter and having a bit more stretch, they do feel a lot more comfortable. Now these ones have a little bit of detail on the back because I do think the Magic shaping jeans in any of the different cuts and fits have a slightly more premium feel to them, even though they have that polyester content in the fabric, but the stitching feels a little bit more premium and the finishing in general. And these have a little over dyed detail on the back to signify that potentially a label was once there. It's just a little design element that you can get on some pairs of jeans. And once more, I think if a skinny is maybe just too tight for you and you don't like that tightness behind the back of the knees, I think a slim fit of denim, these Lily Magics in particular, are a really good option, and I would highly recommend giving them a try. Right, there we go. We have made it through. I have made it through 23 pairs of jeans. In fact, more than that, because I've got double colours, multiple colours in some of them. I hope that you found this video useful. I know getting denim, in particular high street denim, can be so tricky these days with the variance of sizing, but I think M&S does a pretty good job. Some pairs, granted, bit hit and miss, and I'm hoping that those patch pocket flares and the sizing issues that I had with those is not an indication of how M&S are going forward. Some of the other newer styles are still pretty good though, like the carrot jeans in particular. So if you have a favourite pair of jeans that you liked on me today, or that you would maybe like to try, let me know down in the comments below. And if you yourself have got any of these jeans and you'd like to make a comment on fit, etc., I would urge you to write a review on the M&S website, but you can also, of course, use the comments here to give your information and point of view. So that is it for me for today, and I would like to thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time.